Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one looks like the future is going to belong to the far right wingers, because 10% of America's population that's the farthest to the right is the only demographic group that's currently above replacement fertility. Those on the left have actually seen the most massive fertility collapse. Even Elon Musk realizes that the reason the left recruits instead of reproducing is because an ideology that fails to reproduce itself must infect the minds of those that reproduce in order to survive. Moving on is a lighthearted story about reproduction with Randy the guinea pig, breaking into a female enclosure and impregnating all 100 of them. Looks like Randy sure was Randy and earned his name. Apparently he was put in there by accident by a child. I wouldn't be surprised if that kid knew exactly what they were doing, trying to start their very own colony of tribbles. This little guy was probably as happy as a transgender man in a woman's prison. Number 3, Lexi says her boyfriend turned down 5 fully paid scholarships to stay with her, and she loves him so much. Someone tells her that her boyfriend is dumb. Looks to me like he's thinking with his little head instead of his big one. He's wearing love goggles and the relationship will probably end in a year or two, and then he's going to regret not leaving her and just taking one of those scholarships. Then again, maybe he faked the letters to boost her ego. Up next, Bella Ramsey reportedly tells The Last of Us fans that they don't have to watch it. She's insane. The majority of the audience is male, and if she pisses them off, then the ratings will collapse, and she's going to be out of a job, especially with the upcoming season without Joel. Here's an actual picture of Bella believing that she's going to be the next Spider-Man. Because it always works out so well for companies that tell their customers to stop consuming their products. Number 5, here's the look on this woman's face when she says her mom told her that she can't wear bikinis anymore because it makes her brother uncomfortable. In the immortal words of Mr. Rooney, so that's how it is in their family. But guys, get your heads out of the gutter. Her brother probably just wants her dressing more modestly in a one-piece instead of like a streetwalker on a beach. She was also probably 14 and wearing a thong at home around her brother's friends. Moving on, fans can't get over how beautiful Ice Spice is without her makeup, compared to Sydney Sweeney. But who is she more beautiful to? Blind people. She also looks like she's got a case of borderline Down syndrome going on there, and there's nothing more naturally beautiful than fluorescent pink hair. When I first saw the picture of her on the right, I thought that was an inbred extraterrestrial or something. And her forehead is so big you can land flying saucers on it. Number 7, if you're dumb enough to get married, then here are some of the arguments, which are just thinly disguised deflection tactics that she's going to use on you. She's going to say you've been negative or mean, even when you haven't. Women have an aversion to letting men win an argument, and when we get close to winning, they use dirty tricks to belittle the victory. A smart man realizes that it's pointless to argue with women. That's also why AI girlfriends now exist. Up next, Flavio Briatore is seen flirting with 2 much younger women on a luxury yacht trip. But would they really be flirting with him if he wasn't worth almost $500 million? I guess like all women, they have their price. He also probably doesn't hear the word no from women very often. In my life, as I've gained social media status and some wealth, I've noticed how women treat me differently before and after. And it's disgusting how they're so petty. They don't like you for you, but what you do and provide. Number 9, I guess we now know what happened to Edward Furlong. He's 16 here with a woman that's 29. They met on set when he was only 13. I'm betting that she did things to him while he was underage and 13, and she was 26, but of course she got a pass for it. Also notice how he's never tried trashing her or canceling her for doing this. What would happen if a 26-year-old man met a 13-year-old actress on set and then started dating her a few years later? Moving on, what's one thing that every man should actually know how to do? How about dealing with money and assets? Because we're entering the flat stage of the economy where hyperinflation begins. But seriously, there isn't only one thing that a man needs to learn to do. He needs to learn dozens, if not hundreds of skills to fit into society, so that a woman actually wants him around. Everything from defending his house from intruders to mowing the lawn like a good little utility. Number 11, is it true that in 2025 women's standards have gotten so crazy that you have to be a jacked millionaire just to date some girl with a body count of 15? And remember that simply pointing this out will also make you a misogynist. Far-right incel according to women in the media. Also, not only will the woman have a high notch count, but you also have to be rich just to date an average broke woman these days. Also, 15 is no longer a high number. Up next, how would you rate this woman's face out of 10? For me, she's definitely a 7, and if I was drunk, she would be a 9. Then again, I don't even think that this is a woman, but actually a dude. You can't seem to be too careful out there these days because many men know how to do their makeup really well. These days, you don't even know if it's a man or a woman unless you look at the rest of the body. Number 13, this sex therapist sleeps with her clients to save marriages. Isn't this the plot of many cheesy adult films? You know that she probably paid the New York Post to publish this story as promotion. Growing up, you could tell the ads apart from the articles. Today, the ads are carefully woven into the articles to trick people. The term prostitute has been replaced with therapist. I can't believe newspapers have become the new back page ads. Moving on, 14 nurses all got pregnant at the same time in a hospital in Green Bay, Wisconsin. What in the Grey's Anatomy is going on here? Makes me wonder if the doctor fathered all of these babies. Chad Thundercock, MD. And you just know that absolutely nothing is getting done at that hospital and that patients are dying left, right, and center. And you know they'll be short-staffed for the next 6 to 12 months after these pictures. This is why we need to hire more male nurses. Number 15, a TikToker who queued up for Bonnie Blue's 1,000 schlong sex stunt is found dead in a pond. Only 999 to go. He's a lucky man though because he won't have to suffer through the super herpes that's going to take down the rest. Maybe he also took himself out before the pain and suffering began. As for the pond he fell into, I bet it has crabs now. To be honest though, the odds of one of the 1,000 men dying shortly after this event is not all that shocking. Up next, just in case you need a reminder, half the women in a relationship have a plan B. It makes sense because during prehistoric times, if they didn't, they would die if something happened to their primary mate. Plus, that's only 50% willing to admit it. You know that number is more likely to be a lot higher. Remember guys, she's not your girl, it's just your turn. And you're her man until you're dead or she finds someone better. Number 17, this woman who ruined an army doctor's life with a false allegation gets a tiny jail sentence. The judge determined that 30 days was enough punishment for destroying a man's entire life. And women wonder why men are increasingly no longer willing to talk to them. She should have received the same sentence that he would have received. But the judiciary is way too gynocentric. Women will never be held to the same standards as men. Moving on, little Tay is wondering if she should sell her virginity to the highest bidder. I think she will, and she'll sell it more than once. A few days ago, she was sick and tired of being sexualized. And now she's trying to sell herself for sex. Just imagine all the bids that would actually be pouring in from Dubai. But the joke's on you if you're dumb enough to think that a woman like this is still a virgin. Another reminder, she made $1 million in her first 3 hours on OF. Number 19, the leftist insanity continues. This woman says a man with a MAGA hat walked up to her and said, "Your body, my choice." And that she's scared that this is happening in real life and not just online. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. After the Juicy Smollett MAGA country incident, no one believes this sort of nonsense anymore. Of all the things that never happened, this never happened the most. Up next, here's a story that actually happened. A Danish teenage girl using pepper spray to fight off a migrant rapist will now be prosecuted for carrying a weapon. Insanity like this was happening back in 2016. Maybe this is one of the reasons that Denmark wants to stop enrichment. But I bet the lesson for women is that it's better to be politely raped than to hurt the predator's feelings with pepper spray. This is how countries destroy themselves. Number 21, I bet that many of you still can't believe this is even real. That sleeping with refugees is jasmine scented and beautiful. Yes, because every woman wants a low IQ, broke international hobo to jump into bed with. In case you're wondering where this was, it was in England and literally mocking the English rape victims. And in case you're wondering, pepper spray is also not allowed in the UK either. So this doctor's visit never happened. Moving on is Back to the Future Part 3, the worst part in the trilogy. For me, they're all pretty much equal. I see 2 and 3 as one long movie, and it was the first time in film history that sequels were filmed like that back to back, like they were overarching stories. Although I think that Part 3 is better than Part 2 because they don't have to go back to 1955 again. I'm just so sad that the original sets from the Part 3 film burned down in a fire in California. Number 23, this woman secretly set her own wedding date to surprise her boyfriend, and says he didn't suspect anything and that marrying her was a proof of love. Yeah, look how happy he looked to get married. It wasn't proof of love. It was proof of commitment and she tricked him into it. This would be the equivalent of a man tricking a woman into sex. She's a fat butterface and by the look on his face, he really wants nothing to do with her. Up next is grieving adult model takes her dead father's ashes with her to her spicy photo shoots. She says it brings peace to her bringing him with her. I don't really believe any of this. I think that the only reason she's doing this is because she wants more eyeballs on her boobs, and it's just a sales gimmick. As far as I'm concerned, her father's life might have ended, but not his disappointment. Daddy issues in this case are an understatement. Straight to hell. Number 25 on the last one, what the cuck? Here's this couple welcoming their beautiful baby girl into the world. What a sucker taking care of some Tyrone's tots. This individual is who the cuck chair is placed for in motels. This is Joey Saladstow. And this has to be bait because right after this he posted this other picture saying that 9 months ago they took a happy trip to Jamaica. Joey is the guy that staged the stunt where he hired a bunch of black men to destroy a car in a black neighborhood with a Trump sticker on it. He's desperate for attention. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and subscribe star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.